Hey, Melissa, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Nah, this is a huge honor. Uh, you know, I don't know if it's a rest in peace, but it's a temporary rest in peace to Soul Safe. Uh, you know,
Yes,
shout
temporary,
out,
hopefully.
yeah, hopefully for sure.
Yes,
Shout out to the homie Phil.
yes,
Uh, you know, I like that he was trying to build community on there, and he put me in he put Kicks and Froze on a huge platform in terms of just like, trying to get more people involved and stuff like
yes.
that. And well, I was one of the podcasts that he wanted to tap in with. And so he learning about you, and I started following you immediately and just seeing like your progress and what you're doing now. And it's just been amazing.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Love Phil and all the amazing things that he's done
Hmm.
for the sneaker community. Also, just supporting Kicks and Froze. Came down to Charlotte, chopped it up with me, all that good stuff. And so, yeah, we're gonna say see you later, and hopefully it double bags and he's back in action soon.
No, yeah. I mean, he's been. I always like would talk with him and bounce ideas and stuff like that with him. He's great, source of wealth
Wealth of
of
knowledge.
information.
Yes, wealth of
Yeah,
knowledge for sure, for sure.
yeah, for sure. But for people who aren't familiar with you, how about you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I am Melissa Carnegie. I'm a content creator, also the founder of Kicks and Froze. I started creating content around plus 10 plus years ago. I was a
Hmm.
blogger, blogged about my personal style, lifestyle blog, and I noticed that a lot of women that would follow me really started asking questions about my sneakers, which I didn't think that was like a lane that I would go in, but I started sharing my sneaker style, sneakers that I love, how to style sneakers. And I would get tons of questions all the time around sneakers and women. So I started Kicks and Froze as just a platform to find your sneaker style, like know what's coming out, get inspiration on how to style sneakers with your everyday wardrobe.
Hmm.
And just as a hobby, something fun to do, and it turned into a full-fledged business
Yeah.
where we have a large community now, a community. We sell merch
Mhm.
online and in our space, our office space here in Charlotte and Camp North End. We developed our own sneaker cleaner that launched last year,
Wow,
and that's
congrats.
doing well. Yes, yes, Kicks and Fro sneaker cleaner. So just really tapping in with the ladies in the market. We host different events. We have a brunch series called Kicks Over Brunch. We do customization workshops where we're highlighting local artists in different cities and where a
Mhm.
community can come and customize a pair of Air Force Ones. And we just like to tap in with the ladies in our community here in Charlotte and other cities and just let people know that the women are out here rocking kicks and loving kicks and in the community as well.
No, yeah, I've had a big initiative this year. It was to invite more women onto the podcast because this is for everybody. Like, I want to hear everybody's story. It's not just like
Yes.
specifically, oh yeah, let's just have guys and only guys. Guys are, like
Right.
I've been wanting to get more women on here, and
I love
and
that.
shout out to Keely, shout out to Jackie,
Yes.
shout out to all the previous women guests that come on and also helped me get other women on the podcast, including yourself. So like,
Yes. No, I love
you know,
that. I love the fellas always support me, always support Kicks and Fro. So it's been nothing
hmm.
but love. People often ask, like, oh, how was it? Or were men rude? I'm like, no, everybody shows so much love. They get mad at me, like, why is this event only for the ladies? So I have to open certain events up for the fellas too, which is hilarious, but I love it. I appreciate the support. And you already know, got my support 100%.
No, yeah, I'd be really jealous watching the everybody painting the it's like a what was it? It's like a date night thing. It's a paint the Air Force
Yes.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we do larger events to where we invite like 25 to 30 people. It's kind of first come first serve whoever signs
Mhm.
up. But then we do customization like date nights or friend dates or just hangouts up to 4 people in our Airstream office here in Charlotte as well.
That's sick, man. I'm
Yeah.
very jealous. I'll be,
You have to
I'll
come.
be
You have to
wanting
come
to.
down.
I know, yeah. I'll be wanting to. I'll be like, why can't I find this in New York? Like, it's like I feel like it should be a thing. It's easy to find, and I'm just like, no, I'm just looking on the Kicks and Fro's page, like, oh, I'm jealous right now.
We're coming. We're working on that. We're working on coming to the city. We get a lot of
Hey,
requests, so we're working on it.
hey, let me know. Collab Central right here. We can do something
Yes.
cool. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Love that.
But you're here to answer the question that I ask everybody each week, and that question is, what's your first kicks? What's that first pair of sneakers you absolutely need to have?
Okay, I'm gonna say I always this is true and tried. This is what started me and my love for sneakers. This is what kind of jump started me to want to keep my kicks clean, to want them to stay fresh, to want to
Hmm.
wear them all of the time. And it's the classic Air Force One. I'm an Air Force One girl. I have it tatted on the back of my arm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I love Air Force Ones. I feel like they're so versatile, especially with women. We want to wear dresses, we want to wear skirts, we want to wear ball gowns. They, make multiple colorways, different styles that go with a lot. But that all white classic pair, everyone should have a pair in their closet, whether it's low top, mid, high top, you need a pair. And that's what started me to want to keep mine clean, to, have a competition with my brother on who can keep their Air Force Ones clean, who
Hmm.
took a fresh pair and went and got them airbrushed for a Bow Wow concert with my best friend, and my mom almost choked me out. So Air
Not
Force
Bow
Ones,
Wow.
yes, have always been a part of my life. They started me into my love for sneakers and wanting more, wanting to collect, wanting to buy. So I will always say that if you're starting out, if you're trying to figure out how to build a collection, start there. So you have a sneaker that goes with everything.
So you know I gotta ask you the question then. I gotta
Mhm.
ask you, how many wears are in one white on white pair?
Oh gosh, I have so many pairs because of this. I think you can get a good solid 10 to 15 wears
Wow. 10 to 15? I've
depending
never
on
heard
where
10. I've never heard double digits. Never ever heard
depending
double
on where
digits.
you're going and what you're doing. But I get a good 10 wears out of mine before I'm like, yeah, I think I need a new pair. So yeah, around that. I know some people are like three, and then I'm throwing them.
Yeah.
No, or I'm giving them away. I'm donating. No, I'm gonna get at least 10 wears out of mine. Depending on where I go in them before I toss them. And I have some. We have sneaker cleaners, so I'll keep them clean too.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Look, you gotta plug that.
Yes, for
Keep
sure.
your white on whites clean. You know,
Yes,
it's funny because my previous guest before this episode, I asked him, and he said three. He said two or three
yes.
wears max, and I was like, who
That's
has?
crazy to me.
Yeah,
3 wears. My husband will probably say 3 wears. No, I'm getting a solid 10 out of mine, and then I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I think I need to let these go." But I'm also not wearing them late every day. I have a good rotation, a very good
hmm.
rotation of sneakers, so I'm not wearing them all the time.
Nah, yeah, yeah. That 10 is gonna be throughout couple of years, hopefully. Or like two,
Yes.
maybe a year. I don't
Maybe
know.
a
I don't know
year. I
how.
say a
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, a year. I'm not wearing them a ton. I have different pairs, but the all white pair, at least a solid 10 wears, I would say.
What was it like? Was there a specific moment that influenced you so that you'd want to get the Air Force One, or is it just like was that what everybody was wearing?
It was just getting into middle school and
Hmm.
trying to find a sneaker that I thought was cool, but also that I could wear with a lot of things in my closet, because my mom was not that mom, or my dad. He was a sneaker lover and collector as well. He is
Hmm.
still to this day, but they weren't like, oh, you getting 10 pair of sneakers for back to school. So I wanted a pair that I knew were going to be fly and that I knew I could wear with everything from dresses to skirts to jeans to everything
Hmm.
in my closet. So that's why I fell in love with the Air Force One. That's how I first fell in love with it, of wanting that. And then I think at that middle school age, me and my brother were like the same size, so I could get a
Hmm.
colorway, he can get another one.
Oh, that infamous. We gonna switch it up. I don't know
Yes.
if that. I
Yes.
hope y'all cool because sometimes it's just like, no, we're not doing
Yes. He was cool.
that.
He was cool. He would let me switch it up. He thought it was cool in middle school, but not anymore.
No. Did he? So like. growing up, like where, well, first of all, shout out to your parents for letting you get white on whites,
I know. Yeah,
because
they
my
won't
my
have this.
parents, yeah, my mom was like, it's a black shoe. It has to get a black shoe. You have to get a black shoe. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, all right, fine. So
not
I did,
playing with it.
yeah, I didn't. I'm trying to even, because now you're making me think of like, when did I finally like, okay, I can buy a white shoe, and I think it took me until I was maybe 24, 20, 23, 24.
She had you scarred. You like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing it. I also feel like boys at that time were a little harder on sneakers. Y'all like to
Hmm.
play football
Yeah, we was playing
outside,
tag. We were
tag,
playing
all of
tag
the
every day.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
so my brother it was like he got the color. I was able to get the white, but he most of the time got the color or the black pair for sure. Because of that. Yeah. But not 24. Your mom had that instilled in you like, no white shoes, please. No.
Yeah, no white shoes. Or like, and then I'll be at the store and I look and I'll be like, yo, these is clean. And then I'll be like, yes, but you're gonna dirty them up in like a day or two. And then you're just like, all right, let me get this a multicolored joint right here.
Right, right. Definitely feel you on that.
um, but I like, where does it start for you where you're just like, all right, now I'm gonna start collecting sneakers? Like, is there a turning point where you're just like, yo, you know, let me start actually like holding on to buying two or three pairs? Did you start with like a little stack? Was it like your first job?
Yeah, I think so. That it started more so like in college for me. So in still I had a little job in high school. So I would get, certain pairs that I wanted,
Hmm.
like Harachis or one pair of Jordans, but I wasn't really like, I was working a little part-time job. I didn't have all of that money to be spending on sneakers. But when I got to my college years and had friends that started working at Foot Locker and different places, that's when I really started like collecting or finding different pairs that I really wanted circled that I had circled in middle
Hmm.
school and high school in the in the East Bay
East
book.
Bay, yeah.
Yes, and that I wanted like so bad, but my mom and dad or grandma was like, hell no.
Hmm.
Those are ones like I went back and tried to get like, in college. I had a little bit more money. I was working on campus. And I started getting, really into wanting to buy like certain Jordans or certain New Balance.
Hmm.
Of course my Air Force Ones, but it was really college. And then after college, you start working full time and you got a little bit more money to play with, and it was a wrap
Hmm.
after that. I started like just getting everything that I ever wanted. Um, I
Did you
slowed
did you s-
down.
did you stay, like, for college? Did you stay in North Carolina? Did you go to like UNC or something?
No, I
Like,
was in South Carolina. So born and raised in South Carolina, and I went
mhm.
to college in Florence, South Carolina, Francis Marion University, small liberal arts school.
My bad. I
Um,
said North Carolina. My bad. South
No,
Carolina.
yeah, South Carolina. Live in Charlotte now, but I was born and raised in South Carolina.
Hmm.
So yeah, we loved, sneakers. We would get like I would come to Charlotte when I was younger, get inspiration from like my cousins and seeing what they were wearing. They would have like slouch socks with their sneakers. I would take that
Hey.
back to South Carolina. And just seeing what type of sneakers they were liking it into as well. Had a lot of
Hmm.
boy cousins because the girls were like a little older than me or just super young. So I hung out with like a lot of my brother, my boy cousins,
Hmm.
and just, looking at their style, what kind of sneakers they were loving. They're really into Jordans. So that's where like my love for Jordans came from as well.
Hmm.
Just, trying to find certain pairs that I wanted. Cool Gray was a pair that I really wanted.
Oh yeah.
And I was able to, double back and get those when I wanted them and could buy them
Hmm.
for myself. So yeah, those college years is when things started to really get popping.
Nah, yeah, that's dope. What'd you go to college for?
Public relations, so mass
Oh,
communication,
there you go.
speaking, like kind of similar to, kind of worked out to things that I do now.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. That path. You started cementing yourself with the both
Yes.
getting into sneakers and studying PR. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. You know, the were you ever like, scrounging and like, taking like side jobs for a pair of sneakers, or were you always just like, yo, I got my goals. I know where I'm going.
Yeah, no, always like, I kind of knew where I was going, know what I wanted, make sure, certain ones that came out, I looked at release dates, kind of knew
Mhm.
early ahead of time what I wanted, hit up friends. I always love a good discount, so I didn't mind hitting up my friends that work
Mhm.
at, Foot Locker, Hibbett Sports, different sneaker stores that were down to give me their discount.
Oh, yeah.
Always made sure of that. But it was more so if I had a plan, I knew what was coming out, I knew when it was coming out, so I knew what to ask for. If it was like a holiday release, okay, that's what I want for Christmas. Or if it was like, a couple pair that I wanted throughout the year, I made sure to like throw a little money to the side so I
There you
can
go.
so I
Well,
can get those. Yeah.
yeah, that plan you got plan out, like,
Yes.
yeah, scrounging for change was for me, it was me.
That was you.
That was me. I was like, "Alright, Imma figure out how to do this and pay my bills." Like
Right. Right. I need to make this much by tomorrow because these kicks come out. What can I
Yeah,
do?
yeah,
Yes.
for real. Like, so I mean, it sounds like you've always had like a little bit of community or like family that was just around you that helped you figure out
Yes.
sneaker culture. And I'm a big proponent of just like finding community and finding people. Build a village is what people have always
Right.
told me. Like
Yes.
so. The At one point where just like where did that intersect where you found sneaker culture and a community that you were able to just continuously have these conversations and bounce ideas off of.
Yes, I think I've always like community has always been a part of me. Growing up in a small town in South Carolina, it was Friday. I was a cheerleader. It was Friday night
Hmm.
football games. Like it
Hmm.
was always centered around community. Everybody knew everybody in Camden. Everybody still knows everybody. So I was always, my life has been centered around community. Family, huge family, both sides, very tight knit. Which I'm super thankful for because as an
Hmm.
adult, I realize everyone doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So, going to college was this really cool experience. I'm a Delta. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta. So, still cultivating that community, growing that community, having a love for sneakers. I love sports as well. Growing up around a lot of young boys when I was
Hmm.
younger, and graduating and moving to Charlotte and trying to find that sense of community in a new city. I have family here, but trying to find that sense of community. And then I moved to New York for a few years.
Okay.
Lived in New York, and that's where I feel like I started to, find that community and connection with women in, I would see women in the beauty space. I worked in the beauty space,
Hmm.
but they would rock sneakers, and I'm like, "Oh," and they would see me in sneakers. They're like, "Oh, okay, I see you." And we started cultivating that community there. And I'll say, like, even in recent years, like right before you founding Kicks and Froze,
Hmm.
it was looking for those like-minded women in Charlotte or online,
Hmm.
digitally, wanting to be included in a space that I loved and couldn't really find my way or my path to be included into it.
Yeah.
I would see a lot of men, talk to a lot of guys about it, but I didn't see a ton of women who liked the same things that I like talking about it. So
Hmm.
that's why I wanted to kind of create that space. And that's when I really, got into the community aspect and cultivating that community, finding like minded women, talking to them, meeting up with them, going places and hanging out with them, and
Yeah.
just being open to like building relationships as an adult of like, I like this. I'm trying to find community and people who are like-minded and I like the same things. So I would say like in the past like 5 to 7 years is when I
Hmm.
really cultivated finding that women and that love for sneakers, love for style, street style, beauty, all that stuff, but in one. So
Yeah.
it's been really cool. Like you said, Jackie, my friends Pasha, Erica, Key, um, her grills girls,
Oh
Tasha,
yeah.
Wendy, my whole
Hmm.
crew with her grills. Like we just really found each other and it was like these are my people and we're gonna uplift each other, support each other, and just always have community and have friendship.
No, yeah. I mean, starting this podcast, I've been trying to like build more community, and so like
Mhm.
seeing how you built this like, and watching it too just continuously grow, and you're able to do more, especially out of COVID, like being able to do more
Right.
in-person
Mhm.
things that are just like keeping people together, instead of just being like, we were so locked up in our houses for so long that now we're just like, okay, how do I got to learn how to interact with people again,
Exactly,
so.
yeah. I think that was a big part of it too. I was itching to like get outside again.
Hmm.
Because I was so used to having that community, but it felt weird, right? We were stuck in the house and then it's like, okay, how am I supposed to get back out there? So I think, having events and hosting different events and getting people to come out and even, pouring into other people, like you can do, whatever you want to do, whatever you put your mind to,
Yeah.
like just put yourself out there and kind of do it and share with people what you're doing, do some cheap pop-ups, have some events so where people can come out and support you and get to know you. And I think that's what kind of helped me and helped propel Kicks and Froze forward as well.
No, yeah, it's absolute facts. I'm curious of just like when did you shift over to being like, yeah, I'm gonna start making content and being a positive force on what I feel like, social media is quick to just be like super negative. So like what
Right.
is it what influenced you to become that positive influencer?
Yeah, I think back when like I graduated college and moved to Charlotte,
Hmm.
tons of women were hitting me up, like I said, about my personal style and or I'm going on a date. Can you tell me if this outfit is cute? Or, what should I use on my hair? I see you're natural. So I would get all these questions and spend a lot of time responding back to people on Facebook. And I
Hmm.
had one of my best friends is like, you should just start a blog and like you could send people there and talk about all these different things. And I'm like, what's that? Start my Google searches. That was when it was no like blog community or,
Yeah.
or nothing really out there. So I started just writing, trends that I like, personal style, fashion stuff, sharing my outfits, sharing
Hmm.
products that I like, whether that be beauty, style, whatever it was. And that was even before Instagram.
Yeah.
Um, so then Instagram,
Did you have like a WordPress or
yep,
like, yeah, okay.
Blogspot, yep,
Okay,
and then
Blogspot.
yep, and then kind of grew into WordPress and then different platforms. But that's where I kind of started everything on the blog side. And then Instagram came about and I started just taking that content and sharing it on Instagram. My love for beauty. I had natural hair, big afro. So sharing my love for beauty, sharing my personal style, and then noticed that people started asking about certain things. And I'm like, oh, I have this love for sneakers that I don't share. Like, why not start sharing it?
Mhm.
So just wanted to be positive, just wanted to help. I'm all about like helping other people,
Yeah.
helping women, supporting women, doing anything that I can to, push other people forward and be a positive impact. And just taking what I loved with fashion and beauty and sneakers and wanting more people to thrive and see that it's more, people, like-minded people out there that want to support you, that want to be a
Mhm.
part of something that you're starting. But it started with that blog and brands reaching out like, hey, how much would you charge to come to this event, or how much would you charge to post about this? And I'm like, wait, I can make money from
Yeah,
this?
word.
Yeah, so that's
I'd
when
have
I
been like, "I can make
started.
money?"
Yeah, that's when I started like taking it serious, like, whoa, and being serious about, once Instagram,
Mhm.
you can use that platform to make money as well. That's when I started really getting into like, I can use I can use this, I can grow it,
Yeah.
and it can be a source of income. It could be a full-time job, it can be a part-time job. I was thinking at the moment, I don't have to go
Mhm.
out and get a part-time job to buy sneakers and clothes. I
Right,
can
yeah.
use this as that. So that's how, always wanting to be like a helper or cheerleader,
Mhm.
someone who, pushes other people forward, and happy that, I found my way and my path in this way.
No, yeah. You know, especially like growing from writing to actually like performing, I would say, like,
Yes.
you're in front of camera. I mean, you recently do have been doing the fall fits,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
like you've been crushing them,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
of course. And so that idea of just like, to be confident, to be yourself, right? I
Right.
always preach it, and a lot of that, especially now, I feel like it's missing. I don't know if you feel the same way, where
Mhm.
it's like we just want more people to be themselves, even if it's in front of the
Absolutely.
camera,
Yeah.
like
I
that
tell people
authenticity.
that all the time. I'm just like, it's or they're like, "Oh, it's a lot of people are doing this or a lot." I'm like, "But no one is doing it like you're going to do it. No one
Hmm.
has the personality you're going to bring to it. No one has the knowledge that you're going to bring to it. So don't ever think like I'm like, I always tell people, go down the bread aisle, go down the soda aisle at the grocery store. Do you think they're worried about what the other one is doing? No, they're still making that bread. So
Yeah,
I'm always
that's
like,
so
do it.
facts. That is
Yeah,
so facts. Oh my god.
do it. Like, don't think about what other people are doing. Don't think, oh, this is something similar to theirs. No one's gonna bring the energy and the swag or the
Hmm.
personality that you bring to it. And be yourself. Like, who else can you be? Like, why try to pretend to be someone else? That's draining, very
Hmm.
draining. Or faking it. That's very draining. Like, be you. Your tribe and your community will find you and they'll support you and want to be, helping you, want to be within your community 100%.
Hmm. Has there anybody that's ever like reached out in terms of just trying to get into this and then be like, I'm discouraged and now I don't want to do this anymore. Somebody left a bad comment, so now I don't want to do this. Like, what would you tell them about that?
Delete them. I'm like, don't fall into the negativity. Like as soon as you see it, delete it. Don't even
Hmm.
give yourself time to think about it, to harp on it. Like as soon as you see it, delete it. As soon as you see an email, delete it. Of course, I've had even myself people leave mean things on a
Hmm.
post or mean things in your DMs or thinking that they're sending it to someone else and they miss and send it to you like say the
That's
mean things.
crazy.
Yes, right? That's happened to me. It's happened to a few of my friends that are creators. So it's like you have to block out the noise. I always tell people that block out the noise, have tunnel vision. You have
Hmm.
your goals that you want to reach. You're doing what makes you happy. And you're not doing it to make anyone else happy. Create your content and move on. Like don't go looking and view create what you want to create and move on. Engage with the people you want to engage with and engage with those being positive in your community
Hmm.
and move on. I tell people that all the time. Like a lot of women reach out to me of like, I'm nervous, I'm scared. And I'm like, of what? Like pretend like no one's watching. Pretend you're in just in your room creating this content and it's no one watching you. And see how far that takes you. That's like
No,
kind of
yeah.
my mindset for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, you can also I do it. I'll be like, I just create stuff for me, right? And
Right.
if people
Yeah.
like it, like it. Like
Exactly.
just
Y
as long as you like it, you post it because you're like, I want to look at this and I want to put
Yes.
it up. Like.
And this is stuff I would want to see. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? This is what I would want to see. Yes, you take feedback and recommendations, and people are like, "Oh, I love this. Can you add this next time, or can you do this?" Yeah, you take that feedback if it makes sense and it's authentic to you. But create the things you would want to see. I always
Yeah.
say that too. So that's a good point.
You always post about your family and your husband. So
Hmm.
like, how does that work? Who has the bigger collection? Like, what is like? Does everybody just have sneakers? Do you just got like you got a separate house for the sneakers? Like, what is? How does the dynamic
No,
work?
yes, my husband is very selective with his sneaker purchases. He has a lot of sneakers. I probably have more, of course.
Hmm.
He has a lot, but he's very selective and he loves to like give them away to his nephews or his brothers
Oh, that's awesome.
sometimes and when he's want to switch it out. So he has like classic pairs, nice pairs. He's very much a sneakerhead as well,
Hmm.
wealth of sneaker knowledge too. He's always like, "Oh, you should do this. You should try this." And my bonus daughter is definitely turning into a sneakerhead, I guess, because
Hmm.
she's like around sneakers all day or hearing me talk about them or walking into my sneaker closet. Like, oh, she has friends over. She's like, "Come here." I'm like, "What are y'all doing in there?" Like, no, get out. I was just showing them. So I think, her being around sneakers, she's definitely has the bug now. Like she said the other day, like, I don't have enough sneakers. I'm like, girl, your foot is growing every other week. You're not about to be like, I've learned my lesson of like
Yeah.
buying you all these sneakers and then you can't fit them in 2 weeks. So I said, "No, no." She's almost
Yeah,
at
I
my
mean,
size though, so I'm like,
oh, okay. There you go.
yeah.
Little hand-me-downs on that one, right?
Right, right.
But there's that I mean, what's really cool is that recent shoe that's at Target where it you can buy it one size, but it goes up 3 other sizes or something like that.
Oh, I gotta look
Yeah.
that up. I didn't see that. It's like
Yeah,
a kid's shoe?
it's a kid's shoe, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
Uh,
cool. Cause 'cause I'm
they
like, "God damn, like, it's getting crazy."
yeah.
I'm like, "Girl, you slow down. Give me a second."
No, yeah, that it's a really cool invention. I think that it's I don't know who I forgot the name. Sorry to the homie that created it, but he was at the Black Footwear Forum and
Oh,
announced it. Yeah,
dope,
and so like yeah,
dope. You
very
gotta
very
send me
cool.
that. Black
Yeah, yeah.
Footwear
So
Forum is on my list for next year. I'm going. This
same.
year, I was trying to make it and I couldn't. But next year is already on like blocking the calendar off. Don't ask
Yeah,
me to do
same.
anything because I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I had like 4 or 5 people hit me up being like, "You coming?" I was just like, "This is not I'm broke, baby. It's not
Yeah, okay.
happening."
Can't make it happen.
So I was just like, "I'll budget
Oh yeah.
correctly next time." I'm still even like, I don't know if I'm gonna even make it to Complex Con this year, but we'll see. I don't
Oh
know.
no,
So
yeah.
yeah, so
Same.
it's a lot of stuff happening,
Yes.
which is cool. So I
Yeah.
mean, the Oh, the shoot! I had a lineup question, but then we ended up
Yes.
tangenting, and I was just like,
Sorry.
oh,
No,
whatever.
it's okay.
um, so like you know that shoot, I'm trying to remember it now. No, forget it. I'm just gonna keep moving.
Okay.
Uh, what? So like living in South Carolina, right?
Growing up,
Growing up, I was just
South Carolina.
I always get the Carolinas wrong,
That's
so I was
fine.
just like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Growing up, South Carolina, now North Carolina.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yes.
okay. That's why I'm getting it
Yes,
confused.
that's why.
My bad, my bad. So like I'm just gonna just a wild tangent, but
Yeah,
North
yes.
Carolina, I'm a big Little Brother fan. I don't know if you grew up on Little Brother or like the hip hop in North Carolina at all, because like that that like section grew like I don't know how influenced or if you were able to partake within that like that rising of like North Carolina, South Carolina music. I mean, you had Petey Pablo popping,
Yeah, like,
you
yeah,
know,
Petey
like
Pablo. I'm like, Little Brother, I don't know, but Petey Pablo,
yeah,
yes, yes.
that you gotta check out Little Brother since you're in North
Okay,
Carolina now. All
yes.
right, all
I
right.
do. You're gonna have to send me some Little Brother because I'm like, I don't
I
know Little
got you. Yeah,
Brother.
I got you. They're one of my favorite groups. They're huge in North Carolina. So well, huge in terms of just like they made a lot of the sound of
Okay.
like like they worked with Ninth Wonder. They came up with Ninth Wonder, and
Oh
then Ninth
yes.
Wonder. Yeah, I'll send
Love
you.
Ninth Wonder.
I'm
Love
glad I
Ninth
could put you
Wonder.
on to
Put
some
me
new music though.
on. Put
But
me
yeah,
on. Yes, I love Ninth Wonder. So yes, definitely put me on.
crazy tangent. But okay, here we go. I have the question in my head.
Okay.
So I've never been to either the Carolinas, but what are there like sneaker stores that everybody goes to and like because you lived in New York for a little bit, so you know about Soho. Is there like
Right.
equivalent of Soho in the Carolinas?
No, not really. We have just the major retailers.
Hmm.
As far as like, we go to the mall, you go to the mall, you go to Foot Locker, you go to Foot Action, you go to all those type of stores growing up. It wasn't necessarily an area or many local boutiques in North Carolina and South
Hmm.
Carolina, may have been one or two, but not any that were like, oh, this is where you go. I know South Carolina has like 5 Points, which is downtown, that's grown
Hmm.
over the years in Columbia, South Carolina, and they have a few sneaker boutiques there now. But growing up, it was like you go to the mall. You go to the mall to wait in line at Foot Locker to get the Jordans. You go,
Hmm.
to the mall to get the Fly Kicks at the major retailers. So it wasn't like, New York has that, of course. Yeah, nowhere near. It's very small town living.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm from Camden, South Carolina, which is a super small town. Everybody knows everybody. We just got a Hibbett Sports like when I was in college, maybe.
hmm.
Didn't have it in high school. We have to drive 30 minutes out to go to the mall to like purchase sneakers and shoes and stuff.
Were
So
the lineups like crazy at all? Was it
like
intense? Like just
Lines.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember. So, I mean, intense to where people are like fighting, yes, or you camping out and you're
Mhm.
there super early in the morning. I was never allowed to go, but like I had friends, like guy friends, who would go and like stand in line or camp
Mhm.
out and stay overnight just to try to get a pair. So it was crazy stories I would hear about. I didn't experience any. I've stood in line a few times, got my kicks, and I left. I was like, I don't have time for this.
Is there a story
Um,
that just like this is the one that you tell everybody, or it's
no,
like
I don't. That's the part. My daddy was not playing that. It was you go get what you want and let's go.
no, I mean like that
Um,
they told you, and you're like you're just now you just tell that story to
No,
everybody.
oh no. I mean, they would just tell me how like people would fight. Like
Mhm.
a guy would get his size and then they would say that was the last pair in that size and then a fight would just break out and the other person would steal the other person's sneakers. I'm like, "What?" Or, friends in other cities would tell me stories, but I never, experienced or put myself in any position. I do see, now as an adult, like of course we have like social status here in
Yeah.
Charlotte. And I will ride past and people will be at night, the sneakers come out the next day, they'll be out there sitting in their chairs with their blankets and coffee and stuff, just waiting
And then
for
you
the
just
sneakers
stroll
to
right in.
release. No. I, I, I have to wait too. But yes,
You're like James knows me. I'm going in.
so, but this one, the Laylee made Jordan ones
Mhm.
and a few pairs I've had to stand in line to get or the Melody Asani. I remember I had me and my husband put our names on a list at social status and I didn't get them. I'm like, what? And then they said his name. I was like, okay, at least one of us got it. I'm like, they knew me. They just get okay. Hey, it's cool. I'm cool with that. But I've always had to put my name on lists too. Sometimes reserved, but most of the time I have
There
to
you
wait
go.
as well.
There you go. Uh, I mean, it's like I mean, you mentioned two great sneakers in terms of just like that initiative of like getting more women designers in. We got the Nina
Mhm.
Chanel's in
Yes,
this
love Nina
year.
Chanel.
It kind of came and went, to be honest. And I still have my pair, the threes, which I love them.
Me too.
But the as we like starting to, I don't know if it's is it are they like brands starting to transition out of being so women focused and like I don't know, it's just been like a weird shift into or maybe that's just me or maybe I'm what I'm looking at, but I don't know if that's like something that you're taking or paying attention to in terms of just like how you're guiding your content and trying to get more into like these spaces of that too.
Yeah, no, I do see like where it was, super heavy, like collaborating with women, putting out releases that were designed by women, which I think was needed. And I'm always happy to support, and I've purchased mostly all of them.
Mhm.
And I think it is like maybe a slight shift, or I think they're just trying to figure it out, especially after COVID and after, now things are settling down where people were just buying shit just to buy shit all the time
Mhm.
because we had nothing else to do. And I think it's just a shift altogether, like in sneaker culture, in you know fashion and street
Mhm.
style, where they're just trying to find that sweet spot again. I do feel like it is. And then you have people creating their own sneaker, like
Yeah.
not necessarily wanting to collab, but are going and getting manufacturers and going and creating their own like silhouette of sneaker. So I
Mhm.
think they're trying to kind of compete with that and figure that out too. But no, I think it's still space for creatives and artists and like well-known people in different industries to collab, especially with women. I still think we'll see like, more of that, maybe in more strategic ways or in different ways, but I do think, we'll see more of like that collaboration.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, shout out to the homies that put together I forgot the name of the shoe, but they did a Jordan 1 and it had the
You're
like lottery
welcome.
ticket. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
yeah, I
welcome.
had that
That was
pair
so
too.
fire. Yeah. Shout out
So
to
fire.
Jixie.
Yep,
Uh
that's my girl Jixie in the New York Jordan
mhm.
Collective. They killed those. And
They
I'm
killed
like,
those.
I'm so happy for Jixie because I'm like, she so deserved that.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
so glad she was able to get it. And like, She's such a wealth of knowledge. We call her like our sneaker encyclopedia. Like she's
Mhm.
gonna tell us we have questions, she can answer them mostly.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yes,
I, I've had her on the podcast. We're gonna do another one, especially after this drop too. That like, yeah, we're just gonna go over more of her story because
yes.
she knows so much, and
So much. Every
yeah,
time we're on our Her Girls retreat, I just sit with her and she just like tells me so much and all the stories and like, oh, I just love her so much. So that pair, and I knew like she not playing with them. Like
hmm
this is what we want. We want some new technology. What can we do? So even being able to scratch off like just a cool colorway. I still haven't worn mine. They're still like on
Oh,
ice.
you
I
got
need
them?
to. Yeah, I got them. I
They
need to
didn't come
pull
in
them
my
out.
size, so I couldn't even
Oh
get them.
dang!
Nah, yeah, I'm a
Yes.
13.
Oh yeah.
Biggest
They-
size was like 11, I think, right?
yeah, yeah. Biggest size was 11. So yeah, I'm excited to pull those out soon and wear them.
I'm
Maybe some
excited
of
for
those.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're so fun.
So where has sneakers taken you? Because we were
Oh
joking about Disney World the other day. So where has sneakers taken you? Because I feel like you've traveled a lot.
yes, it's taken me a lot of places. Portland, of course. It's
hmm
taken me to LA to be on the Jennifer Hudson show.
Wow.
It's taken me to Netflix. They came
hmm
and shot an episode of Love Is Blind in our office space
Wow.
here in Charlotte. So sneakers has taken me like a lot of different places. It's taken me to Complex Con like
hmm
a few years ago. My niece was just born, so I couldn't go because I'm like I gotta go meet my niece. Like what? But I sent like 50 pairs of sneakers from my collection to be on display at Complex Con a few years ago, and that was
That's
like
sick.
so cool. Such a really amazing opportunity. So, and sneakers has taken me to like a full-time job and
hmm
working and doing things for my community with Kicks and Fro's and being a content creator and be able to storytell in that way. So it's taken me a lot of different places: Miami, LA, New York, DC. Like we've able to put on different events in these different cities and
hmm
bring women out and cultivate community. So I'm very thankful on to all the different places sneakers has taken me for sure. And being able to provide for myself, my family, all through my love for sneakers has been really cool.
No, yeah, I would love for you to expand on that because, like, when you took the risk of like, yeah, I'm gonna jump into this. Like,
Yes.
was there uncertainty? Was there a plan B? Like,
Of
were you like,
course, of
what was this?
course, of course, there was uncertainty. I've been saying like I'm gonna jump and take the leap for like years, a couple years, at least 3 years, and I keep saying, "Oh no, I'll just work another year full time."
hmm
I was head of community and communications for Cantu Beauty hair care brand. For 6 years, I started with
Wow.
them as an influencer, and then I became their national ambassador, and then they were like, "Can you just come work for us?" So then I started working for them and being in comms and just knowing the industry and learning that industry, loving my job and what I did. And I
hmm
always said I would do it until it got to a point where I couldn't juggle it all anymore. And it was getting to that point where I was stressing myself out because I was trying to juggle all working full time, doing my stuff at night, not getting any sleep.
hmm
Um, so I finally was like, it's only been a year. So last December, I was just like, okay, December 31st, that's it. That's it. I'm starting 2024 fresh. And I jumped into it. And, it's been a few times this year where I'm like, oh, wait a minute, did I make the right decision? Hold on. But I feel like entrepreneurship leaves that little bit of, you got to be scared a little bit. That little
Yeah.
bit of uncertainty, that little bit of like if you're not scared, I don't feel like you're dreaming big enough. So,
hmm
I knew I had, supported my family and I love what I did and I knew if I just kept my head down and did the work, like the money would come. And that's what's been happening. We were able to get our office space and, be out in the community, have a space in the community where people are walking around out and about. It's like our
hmm
own little, billboard in the city. People are able to stop by when they visit. We had a couple from Philly come out last weekend to customize a pair of kicks. Like people are traveling in town and this is one of the stops. Like even if I'm not here, people are taking pictures and like tagging us. Like I was able to go by, you weren't there, but we took a picture. Like just knowing that, that type of stuff, I know I'm doing the right thing and I did the right thing. And just continue to do the work.
No, yeah. I mean, that's beautiful because it's
Yeah.
like I want to say it's like a love letter. You're doing like a love letter to sneakers with this,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's interesting because I feel like not a lot of people like you're like one of the few, especially when it's like women faced, like
Yeah.
women focused, where you know uh such a heavy sneakers such a heavy male dominant, I don't know, I always
Right.
say male dominant sport
Yeah.
because we're fighting for the same pairs all the time, like
Right.
and so when it comes to, especially when it's like men who are passionate, everybody's like trying to be cutthroat, trying to make sure
Mhm.
oh nah, I'm fresher than you, and also all of that. I'm like,
Right.
no, we can all just get along, chill out,
Exactly. We
you
can
know.
all be friends. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. you know and so it's good to see when Kicks and Froze is like, nah, let's all do this together.
Yeah.
Let's like the community events, and I love just like scrolling on the page and being like, yeah, I want to do this. Let me do that out here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that that
And
like
then just knowing that you have other people that want to cultivate that community too and be a part of a community. It's like, come on,
Mhm,
let's do it. And I'm gonna support you. What you got going on? How can we collaborate and do something together? Bring
mhm,
even more people, highlight you and show what you do. I love highlighting different women and what they do for sneaker culture, different people in
mhm.
general, men, women, whoever, and just supporting them and letting people know what they do within sneaker culture as well. So yeah, that's a big part of Kicks and Froze, and I think that's a big part of why we are able to be successful because it's all
Mhm.
about not just me climbing, but it's also bringing how everybody that I can with me, like, let's go, come on,
There's
and making
space.
sure,
Everybody
yeah,
can
there's
come up.
space, and making sure yeah, I know you're outside of your comfort zone. You're very uncomfortable, but yes, that's why. Come on, you need to be. Let's go. So yeah, and I appreciate all the yeses I get from all the dope women who support Kicks and Froze for sure.
No, yeah. The it's like I'm trying to say like because I was like trying to say like we got, especially as dudes, you got to stop being so you know against the grain on a lot of this stuff, or like or
Yeah.
even in sneakers, like
Hmm.
you know a lot of people need to understand that this is a community, and
Right.
communities don't really like there's not a lot of, we shouldn't be infighting in every community. Like it's like this is the only one where I feel like there'll be moments I'll be like, yo, what's going on? Like why is who's trending on Twitter now, like like just over some silly stuff. Like but it's great to see like a positive spin, this positive light turned on to this. And Kicks and Froze is definitely, I've always just been like on top of just like trying to stay up to date, and hopefully trying to amplify as much as I can with the little bit of community that I've built
No,
as
yes,
well.
I appreciate that. Yes, yes, I appreciate it so much. Every time I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, the fellas love us. Yes, so
Let's get it.
thankful. Yeah.
What do you, I guess I want to ask like big picture, like what in big picture, what do you see in the future of like for you and for Kicks and Froze? Like, is there gonna be like a community space? Not a community space. I
Mhm.
feel like the Airstream is basically the community space, but you know what I mean? Like, a
Yeah,
store
no,
coming soon or something like that.
I would, our goal is to hopefully have a larger community space. I can't fit everybody in this little Airstream.
Yeah.
So, a larger community space where we're able to, host different events, have a community retail space within that area. Also, like a little kind of laundry cleaning space as well in the area where people are able to drop off and pick up using our sneaker
Mhm.
cleaner, and even developing that even more of having different products within the cleaning space. So that's one of our goals. I love a collaboration with It does. I mean, I don't discriminate. Converse, New Balance, Adidas,
I don't
Puma,
discriminate.
whoever. Like, I feel like a community collaboration with Kicks and Fro's could be really cool, just to highlight community in the space.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Um,
see some. I want to see like Afro puffs on a
right,
uh on a Adidas superstar or something like
right.
that.
Right? That would be cool. Yeah, so just, continue that growth. Hopefully, like I said, a bigger space, larger space to house more community and have more community events. We want to add in different types of different pillars of even now where people can come in and do customization workshops and date nights with up to 4 people, but being able to do other things. Some people might want to come and just accessorize their kicks or learn how to clean them. So being able to house different, events and different opportunities for people in the sneaker space, I think is something that we want. And yeah, like continue to collaborate with different. We just collaborated with the fitted hat store here in Charlotte in Camp North End on a fitted hat that's for the sneaker lovers. So I don't
I
know.
love the vagueness. I was like, "What's this fitted hat?"
Yes, let me show you. So it's Fitted CLT is a fitted hat store here in Charlotte, and this
Uh-huh.
is like
Oh, that's
their
sick.
signature C, which they're trying to make like that New York Yankee, this signature
Hmm.
C for Charlotte. Of course, the Carolina blue for the Carolinas. We have a Kicks and Fro's patch on the side, and it says
Fire.
for the sneaker lover on the back for the sneaker
I'm gonna
lovers.
need one of those. I'm gonna need one of those.
Yes,
I
yes. So like continuing that collaboration, continue to support other people, but growing in our space too, larger space, more room to host
Mhm.
community events, pop-ups in different cities. So that's our goals. Those are things we want to do, in the next 5, 7 years. Like keep growing. I always tell
Easily.
people I don't want to grow too fast. I want it to like happen when it's supposed to happen. So I'm not
Mhm.
saying, oh, all these things need to happen next year. No, I need to, sit in where I am now and let us grow organically and right when we're supposed to. So,
No, yeah, I love it. I love it. I think that the like sky's the limit, you know?
yes, yeah,
Like sky's the limit. It's however you want to get there is gonna happen, right? You know?
yeah.
That I think you're on a great trajectory.
Thank
So,
you.
you know, and then when Phil comes back, soul safe,
That's
we
right.
back
We
on
we
it. We
in
back
there, we
on
back in it and we doing it. Always,
it.
always have that space open for my guy Phil.
uh shout out, Phil. I want you. So my last question, I
Yeah.
want you to think comes with a little bit of visualization.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think back to when you got the first pair
Mm-hmm.
of white on whites when you were
Mm-hmm.
young Melissa, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and now you're you. Travel back in time behind your younger self. What would you tell your younger self as they open that box?
Get ready for the ride, girl, because these sneakers are gonna take you some places. That's exactly what I would say. It's exactly what I would say. Put them on and just be ready to go, because these sneakers are definitely gonna take you places that you never even imagined going. So that's definitely what I would say to my younger self. Opening up that first box of white on whites. Keep them clean, girl. Keep them clean. You
You gonna
only gonna
travel
get
back.
10 wears out of. Keep them clean. But
Only
also,
10. Only 10.
they gonna take you some places. They gonna take you some
You go
places.
travel back in time with the Kicks and Froze cleaner. Just be like,
Right,
hey, go
exactly.
use
Like,
you take
got
one of
something
these.
for you. Exactly. I got something for you. Here you go.
Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Kicks and Froze on social
Hmm.
media. Kicksandfroze.com is our website. We have a newsletter. So if you go to our website, sign up for our newsletter. That's where we share kind of bi-weekly. I don't like to flood the email boxes. So we share bi-weekly just different things we're doing in the city. If we're traveling to another city where we're going, I like to share like my sneaker shopping with Mel for women and
Hmm.
men just looking for sneakers. looking for different kicks to add to their collection that they, may not know about. We share that in there, and just any information around things we're doing, how we're doing things to support the community, different things that's going on in the community. And then we usually kind of highlight different women, interview women and men in our newsletter, just to give our newsletter audience some exclusive content. We have deals, a lot of deals in our email as well, newsletter as well, around like our Kicks and Fro's merch, things that's going on there, coupon codes, all that good stuff. So follow us on Instagram. We're barely on TikTok, but we do have a TikTok. But and then come through. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, Camp North End. Come through, hang out with me at the HQ. We're
There you
usually
go.
here opening up on select weekends. We are about to announce that after Black Friday, we're going to be opened from Thursday to Sunday every week from 1 to
Wow.
7. So I'm super excited about that too.
That's sick, man. That's sick. Can't
Mm,
can't wait to pull up. I can't wait. Trying
yes,
to
can't wait to have
trying to
you.
paint some shoes.
Yes, can't wait to have you come customize some kicks. Come on.
And you know where to find me. I am who is also on all social media. Follow the podcast at My First Kicks Pod. If you are listening to this, you might want to go on YouTube, My First Kicks on YouTube, and watch this. Watch it all the way from the beginning so you can
Yes.
see our faces and
Yes.
hit that hit that subscribe, hit that like, and if you have a My First Kick story, hit me up, myfirstkickspod@gmail.com. I would love to read it to a guest every week. You know what we do out here. You know what we say every week. Wear your kicks. Peace.